Heidi Barrios.
Jayden Fernandez.
And I am Khrislenn Garino.
Welcome to another episode of Golden Tiger Talk.
Woo!
Yay!
Yes, this is the first episode of our two-part series trying to dissect what is love, coming from three single teenagers. Our first topic is going to be kind of how we view or interpret love.
Khrislenn will start off. Khrislenn's me. Okay, first off, when my mom brings me food, especially when she's mad at me, that is love.
Period.
Period.
I mean, like, what type of food though? Like, what are we
Honestly,
talking here? Like anything, or just like?
I would say for the most part, anything. But when she makes my favorite Filipino dish, then she knows what's up.
Whoa.
Pork sinigang. There you go. Pork sinigang.
Pork sinigang.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's good. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it is good. For anyone who doesn't know what sinigang is, it's basically pork stew.
Sour soup.
Sour soup stew.
Soup?
I say stew.
I drink it up like soup, so whatever.
gotta try it one day, Khrislenn.
Yes,
future.
I will not be cooking it, but I will buy it for you.
Or
Please.
I'll probably give you some when I go to work, because I always have extra food now.
Hopefully. I mean, I
Heidi
can never deny food for sure.
Heidi will buy you the tamarind mix.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Heidi, what is love?
Okay, so my perspective on love is love equals God. I am a Christian, non-denominational, and it's like I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I just see it as like love is God, or God is love. Like you can't have, or you don't understand the full meaning of what love is until you like find God. But that's my perspective, obviously.
Explain Rev Chris
Rev
What?
Chris.
and his marriage and what he said about. Yeah.
Okay. So, what Khrislenn said. So there's this Reverend, Rev Chris. He's from the UK, and we found him on a YouTube channel called Jolly, Jolly and Korean Englishman. They're both kind of well, Jolly's more like worldwide based like channel where these two guys, Josh and Ollie, I love them. They like review snacks, talk about different cultures, like just a beautiful channel. And then they also like involve their family. And then in Korean Englishman, it's obviously Josh, an Englishman who can also speak Korean fluently and has been to Korea and all that stuff. And then Ollie is like the second half. Well, they're two. I don't know how to explain.
They are like they're like partners on YouTube, partners in crime.
Partners in crime, exactly. And they have a friend named Rev Chris. And Rev Chris, they were doing kind of like not an episode, but like a YouTube video on Jolly with Rev Chris's wife, Jenny. And Rev Chris said that they were also talking about like what is love, and like because people have a lot of questions for like Rev Chris and Jenny because like they're such an iconic duo.
They're such a cute couple.
I know. And Rev Chris was like, there's a part in my relationship that Jenny does not complete. And that part in the relationship and that part in like love or in my heart is what God brings, or like what I'm able to receive from God. So that's how I see it too. It was just love in general, not just like specifically like romantic love. But
exactly. Yeah. Amen.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Yep.
Sorry.
We are completely serious here, Jayden.
Yes.
I'm sorry, no.
100%.
What was funny was just the out of nowhere amen from Khrislenn.
I mean,
I know.
She was talking about.
Yeah,
dog,
you gotta say amen at the end. Period.
Exactly. Respect.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Go ahead.
No, because I was like, that came out of nowhere. Oh, I have to share now, huh?
Yes, you do. So
Mm-hmm.
go on and share.
Mine's a bit more like, I wouldn't say serious, but more like relationship wise. Like, I want to build trust off someone, and like that's how I find my love also, with as well as just communication with people. And like, if I'm able to talk to you very easily and just be able to have a connection with you very quickly, like that's my way of like love. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like for me the connection part is a big deal. Like if we can't connect, oof. Like we can be acquaintances.
If we can, ooh, big ooh.
I'm just saying connection is a very big part in any kind of, relationship. Like if I'm gonna love you, we gotta connect, man. Just
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
think
get that.
connection's kind of important with anything though, because
exactly.
like, of course, like love relationships are like that's important, but having connections with your own like family members and like your best friends, especially, like that's another way you like that's what your love is also. Because to me, love isn't like the normal typical love, like to like having a partner and stuff like that. But for love, for me, it's more of having connections with people who I truly like connect with. What like what we've been saying is just connections.
Right, and it's not like we're strictly talking about the romantic love here. I mean, I talk about
Yeah.
my mom, Heidi, God,
Big man up. Yep.
the man up there, or just being up there. We don't know if God has no pronouns. Okay, God is God. Period. Anyways, moving on.
Mhm. Okay, moving on. I'm moving. So now that you know kind of how we view love, or like, I guess a basis of how we view love, we gotta see what science says about it. Okay.
Science. Where did science come from? Whoa.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Wild.
There's science to love. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Bonkers. In a now published blog done by Harvard, the author Catherine Wu, scientists categorize love into three factors: lust, attraction, and attachment. Lust is driven by sexual desire, and under lust fall the two sex hormones of testosterone and estrogen. While these chemicals are often stereotyped to be male and female, they both play a part in men and women.
Yeah, I gotta say, lust is an interesting thing. Teenager. We
Yeah.
are we are teenagers, and we see and interact with a lot of teenagers. So
Hmm. Hmm.
Do we
nope,
really though?
Well,
that's
not even not much, but
fine.
right now not much.
Do
But
we really though?
back in the good old days.
Back in the good old days when you're at a band competition and it's late and and we're talking about our experiences with people you don't usually talk to.
True.
Yeah.
You open up about it, but yeah, I didn't know that people were so horny. But it's fine. We're teenagers.
Hormones.
Yeah,
Yup.
hormones. Yes,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know it. Attraction. Attraction involves the brain pathways that control reward behavior, which partly explains why the first few weeks or months of relationship can be so exhilarating and even all-consuming. AKA, you all know it, the honeymoon phase. Dopamine is released when we do things that feel good to us. In this case, these things include spending time with your loved ones and making love.
Yup.
Yeah.
As you do.
As you do.
As one does, as one
Yeah,
does.
yeah. It's so hard. Like reading that, I want to say doing the do.
Doing the do. No. No.
You should have. That would have been hilarious.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's
Okay.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
and the last one, which involves attachment, which the two primary hormones are oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin is often nicknamed the cuddle hormone for this reason. Like dopamine, oxytocin is produced by the help
Hypothalamus.
hypothalamus and released in large quantities, especially when making love, breastfeeding, or even childbirth. Yeah. I struggled. But it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
We all struggle.
This is why we have each other's scripts.
Yeah. Yep.
Or like notes per se. But yeah. I mean, I
It
think it's just interesting because of like the childbirth part.
Well, yeah, I mean, you build an attachment with your child, like
yeah,
from a
like
person who's giving birth. Like you see that, and you're like, I
mo-
created that. That's
mm,
like it's just instant.
postpartum depression is real. Like when my
Yeah,
mom gave birth to my brother, she was I've never seen her so down.
it happens.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like 9 months. 9 months and you have like this living being inside of you. And then now now it's out.
I mean, exactly. No, like I like it doesn't get. I feel like it gets overviewed a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Postpartum.
it's hard to explain because I mean obviously none of us can give birth. Jayden can't give birth. So like I don't know how to put it in like layman's terms, but like I know my mom, she was definitely sad because even though you're not parting with your baby, you're parting with it physically because you're not connected to it anymore
Hmm.
physically, right? Especially when the umbilical cord is cut, no more physical like nothing physical is attaching you to your baby anymore.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that it's real. It's real.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Dang.
I'm just saying.
And like you mentioned about physical touch, that's part of like one of the five love languages, and the five love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and of course, physical touch.
Hmm. And right before we record this episode, your hosts, us, actually took a quiz to find out what our love language is. And like it's pretty obvious that some people aren't limited to only one because we're all encompassing human beings. We're all unique. But these are the ones that we resonated with the most. For me, I got 3% physical touch, so the lowest. I don't like physical touch. Obviously, I don't like I mean hugs are fine, but I would rather not, high five. Woo.
Yeah.
Bro fist, I don't know, something like that. But and then I think it was like 37%. I think it was quality time. I appreciate spending time with friends, family, anybody, anything so much because it's valuable. Time is valuable. So,
Yes, and again with quality time, I got 40%. Yes. And for physical touch, I that was my lowest as well, was 7%. Okay. But adding on to quality time, like FOMO is real, at least for me. Fear of missing out is real, okay?
yes.
When I was in middle school, because I couldn't hang out as much, my friends just started they just didn't invite me anymore. They just didn't invite me.
Yikes.
Like, yeah, imagine how I felt. No, but seriously, after that, I really got to value spending time with others, especially freshman year. Freshman
Mm.
Ooh.
year, me, Heidi, and Emily, aka our other friend in TNN, we would just walk to my place, eat food, watch the cars go by.
Just like we didn't even have like an ounce. Probably we don't. We have more of like what we like of what life is and the real world. Scary that kind of
Scary.
stuff.
Scary.
But like the whole vibe. We were just sitting there eating pepperoni with was
Hawaiian
it
pizza.
Hawaiian pizza and pepperoni sometimes. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Ranch, ranch.
Ranch, yes.
I could not eat it without ranch. We would get jalapeno Cheetos,
Ooh.
Mozzarella stick.
mozzarella sticks, and give a heck about the world, and we would just sit there in front of Khrislenn's steps because waiting for our parents. Well,
Where
Right.
was
wait,
I?
making like passing. Well, I don't know where you
Okay,
were.
first of all, you are so active at school. Okay, you
Yeah.
probably had some club or sport that you were doing. Second of all, we didn't really know you that well.
Mm-mm,
I,
I
I
don't know you at all.
I think I knew of you guys because of Ivy, our other friend.
Yes, we knew of each other, but it wasn't enough for me to take you to my house.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
And the
I
thing is, like, it
wish.
wasn't even in her house. It was like one time when we went to the house. It was on her like steps going to the apartment, to the townhouses.
Yeah.
But we would just sit
So
there, even if it was like cloudy or sunny.
I brought you guys blankets so we could chill in
Yeah,
front.
we would literally just. There's no, you can't get connection over there.
Right.
Data is nothing over literally.
Non-existent.
True,
In the
true,
back,
so
yeah,
true.
and in the back of the valley, nothing. So
Yeah.
we would literally just sit there and talk about just like,
Everything.
yeah, just talk about life, and it's a great thing. Try it out.
Try it out.
Highly recommend.
Okay, yes, quality time is good. Okay, but Jayden,
I'm the opposite of you guys. I love physical touch. That's literally me. And like for me, physical touch was 27%, but quality time and words of affirmation was 23% for me, and then 13% for acts of service and as well as receiving gifts. Not gonna lie, I like getting no, I like to have gifts received, but like sometimes I just feel uncomfortable. So I like giving gifts. And that's easier for me most of the time.
I feel like for me, gift giving was kind of hard only because I didn't want to ask my parents to buy my friends gifts. I didn't like want to ask, "Hey, can you buy this for my friend?" And of course, like I could have, but I'm like, I don't want to spend their money. So I just try to like make something,
Mm,
even
no, your
though
gifts are
Yeah.
literally like they even if they're like simple or whatever, like it's the thought like behind it that like you're showing us that like you appreciate us and that you love us. I love to buy gifts. I love
yep.
spending my money.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I make minimum wage. I still don't I still don't care. Like I not like be in debt, but like I like have like nothing in my bank account. But if I'm willing to like put a smile on my mom's face, on my friend's face, sometimes my cousin, then like it's so worth it in my opinion. But I just love buying gifts so much.
Yeah. And
So
like I think the reason why I kind of don't like receiving gifts most of the time is because I don't know how I'm going to react. I think the
Ah,
mm,
reaction as well as how my face looks like and how they think I'm going to act compared to like how I actually react in person.
no, I can yeah, I completely get that. Like you get Christmas gifts and like I'm just there like, oh cool, like thank you. That's like in any gift, even if I like it or not. I just like I react the same because
I
that's all that matters.
no, yeah, no. I was gonna say like I do feel that too, but let me talk about a New York Times article. Okay, so there's an article called "To Fall in Love with Anyone Do This" by Mandy Len Catron. It was published 6 years ago, and it is about an experiment that she tried out in real life. So, psychologist Arthur Aaron, again, which was over 20 years ago, he succeeded in making two strangers fall in love in his lab. So, you hear a lot about applying science to love, like what is the science behind it, like how we were talking about it earlier, biologically. But he tried to create love out of nothing. And you're probably sitting there like, that's cap. I'm telling you, it happened. It happened, okay?
Mhm.
So imagine this: a heterosexual man and a heterosexual woman enter a lab through separate doors. Okay, they are sitting face to face and they're answering a series of increasingly personal questions. After they answer these 36 questions, they then stare silently into each other's eyes for 4 minutes, keeping eye contact for 4 minutes. I can keep it for like 4 seconds.
Nah, not even like a second. I like look at the screen. I'm like, shoot, no.
I get too distracted. I'll be like,
No, I get it.
4 minutes? No thanks.
Like, I, anyways, continue.
Okay. 6 months after they participate in this experiment, that heterosexual man and that same heterosexual woman got married. And they invited the entire lab to the ceremony.
What?
Now, that sounds crazy to me. Sounds crazy to me. But the woman who wrote this article about the experiment, she herself, she tried it out with, I think it was a college acquaintance. And guess what? They fall in love.
No way.
They fall in love. I'm pretty sure they're married now too. So if y'all ever want to try it out, let us know. But there are 3 sets. Each set has 12 questions. So I will now say a question from each of the sets and we will try to answer them for you, okay?
Yes.
In the first set, the question is, do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
Like I said, I just want to die peacefully. I have the lowest pain tolerance in the entire world. I don't want to die painfully. I really don't. I just want to die peacefully.
Girl, how are you
like,
supposed to get a tattoo?
That you just endure it. You endure.
Okay.
So yeah.
For me, I honestly feel like it would be not tragic, but like an accident of some kind.
Oh gosh.
Because of how
Accident?
how accident prone I am.
That's
I feel
very
like
true.
I feel like
Got
it
bad
might
luck.
be, but I kind of am a bad luck sometimes, but it's okay.
Personally, I would hope from old age or natural causes. Hopefully, maybe. I mean, we'll find out. But I always thought maybe like in a car crash. Like when I was in middle school, I was, I was riding with my mom, from school. I was like 12 and I'm like, "Huh, a car could just hit us right now." It's very
Oh,
possible.
have you seen like those like TikToks that are like that person like is driving like the passenger seat, the person's like filming and it's like, "Mom, you have the power to kill us right now. Like you can like kill us right now."
Oh, yes.
Because
Oh, yes.
driving. So like that, you're like they have that power.
Well, the thing is, in middle school, I was in the back seat and my mom was driving, okay? It was just me and her in the car. The first time we're driving up Fassler and the car that's going down like gets into a crash. The car that's driving down Fassler crashes into a car that's parked.
Okay.
So my mom is like, "Oh my gosh, that car could have crashed into us." I'm like, "You are correct." And then the second time, also in middle school, we were driving home. So we were on Highway 1. And my mom, like, I don't know what happened, but she started like jerking the
Oh my
wheel and we like
god.
swerved like left and right. But thankfully there weren't many cars at the time. And so my mom was like, "We could have died." And I'm like, "Correct again."
Again.
I mean, both times she was driving, so just saying. Not saying there's a correlation, but I'm saying there's a correlation. But yeah, so that was the first question in the first set. Now, in the second set, the question is, what does friendship mean to you?
I think this is probably gonna be this is probably just gonna go back to like my version of what is love and its connections, because that's so important, especially now since it's harder to make connections online virtually. I think connections in person were so much easier. But hey, there's connections through online dating, but we'll discuss that topic later.
Yeah.
Christian Mango. Um, I think, I mean, I value my friendships to, like, I could literally die for, like, I could die for anyone, but like for my friends, like, especially, you know, it's such, for me, it's more about like the experience, right?
Mm.
And
Hmm.
the memories, yeah. So
Of
like
course.
whenever you're like like what we said earlier with like freshman year, like that stuff, like, is it like I have it like kind of like stamped like in my brain because that's like something so beautiful, and like the happiness that we experience that time just kind of like brings you a little smile on your face. So I think it's just about like the experiences that you have with your friends that mean so much.
So quality time. Hmm?
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
Mm.
okay. Yeah, I agree with both of you. I could not live without my friends.
Same.
I when I went to Terra for the first time and I had no friends for 3 days, I was ready to like transfer.
Oh
I
my
was about
gosh.
to dip. But yeah, it's all about the experiences, connections, doing stuff together, quality time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Quality
having
time.
also like having like someone you can lean on.
For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure,
Like
for sure.
that is that's a big deal. Like if I couldn't like spam my friends like venting to them, I would go crazy with the voices in my head.
The
Mm,
voices in my it's the
The
voices.
voices. It's the
it's the
voices.
voices.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with all of you. Like, I think like all that has been said for friendship is just something, I don't know,
It's just like,
important, crucial.
and like that's so important with like relationships in general, like with love kind of relationships, because I feel like people get lost in like the idea of loving, like loving someone with a partner, but they don't realize in order to have a partner you need to be like friends and have a connection and have and make those memories together, as well as just have each other in general.
I mean, and like another, not to bring like Rev Chris back into this, but he's just an intellectual. But one thing that he said too is that people just get so infatuated with the idea
Mm,
of love, and like
exactly.
having that spark when then like that's not like in the movies when like you drop a coffee, like a guy drops a coffee and a girl's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and like blah blah blah, and like
Oh,
and immediately like fall in love, and it just stays like that, like on like that high for so long. Like that's not like what
yeah.
Chris said, at least. Like it's not always gonna be like that. Like you have to build it.
Yeah,
Especially like this is obviously like later in a relationship, like a romantic relationship. But like relationships can become a little stale over time.
Yeah.
It's not like this spark that you feel or if you feel it will last forever.
of course.
Of course.
Of
Of
course.
course.
That's just how it be. I mean, obviously we're single, so what can we say? Um, but
Based on people
friendship.
around us.
Friendship.
Yes,
Oh,
friendship.
very much influenced by many people around us.
Hmm.
Yeah, we will talk about relationships more in depth in the next part of this series. Yes. Okay. So, in the last set, this question is, of all the people in your family, whose death would you find the most disturbing and why?
My mother, right away,
Mm,
my mother,
Yep.
because
yeah.
I feel like both for all three of us, our mothers have been there for us throughout our whole lives and seen everything for
Mm.
us. And just having to lose my mom is going to be like so devastating, just so like jaw dropping to me, because she's seen me through my lowest points. And in general, she's just always there for me. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I say literally the exact same answer, Jaden. My mom or my cousin Lupita. My mom, because of the same reason, Jaden. Like she's been there for me. Like we don't know a life without our moms. And like the idea of death, like death doesn't scare me because it's inevitable, right? But just the idea of like not being able to like call my mom, or not being like able to tell my
Mm.
mom how my day was, or like ask her like, oh, how was work, like that absence is
I
going to
can't
be
imagine.
horrible. Yeah,
I
no, I
don't
can't
want to
imagine.
I don't
imagine.
want to imagine
Yeah,
it.
like
I don't
I,
want to.
whenever I try to like, whenever just like you're deep in your thoughts, and
Mm,
like it pops up in your head because it's like, how is it not going to pop up?
yeah.
I just like immediately like start to tear up because I'm like, I can't, no, like no, 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 no,
I
Yeah.
tear up even thinking about not having my mom with me in general.
no.
Like it's so hard not to have like a parent with me.
Yeah.
It's just so scary.
Mhm.
With with my mom, I don't well, obviously, she's my mom. So it's not like we're not close, but we definitely gain more but
Based on people
friendship.
around us.
Friendship.
Yes,
Oh,
friendship.
very much influenced by many people around us.
Mhm.
Yeah, we will talk about relationships more in depth in the next part of this series. Yes. Okay. So, in the last set, this question is, of all the people in your family, whose death would you find the most disturbing and why?
My mother, right away,
Mm,
my mother,
Yep.
because
yeah.
I feel like both for all three of us, our mothers have been there for us throughout our whole lives and seen everything for
Mm,
us. And just having to lose my mom is going to be like so devastating, just so like jaw dropping to me because she's seen me through my lowest points. And in general, she's just always there for me. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, say literally the exact same answer, Jayden. My mom or my cousin Lupita. My mom, because of the same reason, Jayden. Like she's been there for me. Like we don't know a life without our moms. And like the idea of death, like death doesn't scare me because it's inevitable, right? But just the idea of like not being able to like call my mom or not being like able to tell my
mm,
mom how my day was or like ask her like, oh, how was work, like that absence is
I
going to
can't
be
imagine.
horrible. Yeah,
I
no, I
don't
can't
want to
imagine.
I don't
imagine.
want to imagine
Yeah,
it.
like
I don't want to.
whenever I try to like, whenever just like you're deep in your thoughts and
Mm,
like it pops up in your head because it's like, how is it not going to pop up?
yeah.
I just like immediately like start to tear up because I'm like, I can't, no, like no, 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 no,
I
Yeah.
tear up even thinking about not having my mom with me in general.
no.
Like it's so hard not to have like a parent with me.
Yeah.
It's just so scary.
Mhm.
With with my mom, I don't well, obviously, she's my mom. So it's not like we're not close, but we definitely gain more of a connection like during quarantine, I
Mhm.
would say.
For sure.
Because life was really busy beforehand. Like I was trying to get the
Mm.
most involved in school. My mom is working, she's a nurse, and then there's also my younger brother who's a lot to take care of. But lately there's I'm home 24/7, so I can just talk about my mom, talk to my mom about anything, which I couldn't do before. Like now she knows who my crush is. Like before, like she wouldn't even ask me. Like she didn't really care. I mean, I don't know if she cared or not, but she didn't care enough to ask.
Oh my gosh.
I could never be open like that open, but like
No,
still
yeah. I mean, I just like mention it. Like if it
Yeah,
comes up in like a topic, I'm like, oh yeah, I
exactly.
used to like this person, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it would either be my mom or my younger brother, who's turning 3 soon. He's just so young, and I can't imagine him losing his life. Knock on wood. So
knock on wood for all of us.
I know, knock on
Or,
wood.
yeah, you know.
But yeah. I mean, so those were the questions. I mean, you can just Google 36 questions to fall in love, and you can try it someday.
Yes.
Yes. I'll do it
You
soon.
know, discuss it with your friends. Like it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
It'd be cool.
I've discussed it with Alyssa, Alyssa Chan. I think a year ago, like February, was the last time we hung out.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
That's the last time I hung
Mm,
out with Alyssa, and
yeah.
we talked about this heavy. We talked about
Hmm.
this heavy. I just find it really interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's it about that. More.
Going on to our next topic. Because we love, adore, and accept anyone listening to our podcast, we have to mention love in terms of our LGBTQ neighbors. So we're going to be talking, throwing some facts out, talking about historical moments and all that stuff. So I'll go first. And not all of it, because we can only fit so much into a podcast, but we'll still talk about important stuff. So, April 2000, Vermont became the first state in the country, the US, to give same-sex couples the right to enter into civil unions. Civil unions, if you don't know, are legal partnerships which would grant those couples the same rights and benefits as those in legal marriages. And then also on June 26, 2015, the Supreme Court finally and officially declared same-sex marriage a constitutional right nationwide, meaning all states must allow Americans to get married regardless of their gender or sexual orientation.
Period. I mean, I feel like that's a little too recent for me, but period. Oh, and taking it way back, like way, way, way back, we have Sappho. So she was an ancient Greece lyric poet, and she was praised by figures like Plato. Her lyrics were either short but sweet verses of either hymns to gods, about marriage, many tales of myth and legends, and as well as her love and passion. Of course, mostly towards women. Sappho was also known as the first lesbian in history, and she came from the island Lesbos.
Now, I know we just talked about really cool things, but recently in the past few years, there have been some negative things from our former president, Donald Trump. An example of this was the ban on transgender service members from the military, which was basically saying, um, against the expert advice of military leadership, medical authorities, budget analysts, 70% of Americans and the armed forces are of allied countries, Trump and Pence banned transgender people from serving in the military. How do you all think about that?
I think that's outright dummy dumb dumb stupid.
Gotta agree with that. I mean, the thing is like not like I get where they're coming from, because a lot of what stems of like them seeing it as seeing like being homosexual or being a part of like the LGBTQ community as like something, I don't want to say wrong because it's not. Okay, but I mean, like I don't know, because they just use religion to justify the harmful things that they have done as an
Yeah.
administration.
Yep.
And coming from a religious person, it isn't very like encompassing of like love your neighbor, which is like one of the biggest commandments that we all have to follow, I think.
Yeah.
I just I don't think it makes sense. Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
have men serving in the military, you have women serving in the military. What's the difference of a transgender person serving in the military?
Yeah.
Like
No.
we're all people.
Yeah,
We're all
Okay.
exactly.
people. Like I don't understand.
And
And
there are
they're like
people. Sorry.
no, and they're like fighting for our country.
Exactly. I was gonna mention, like,
Yeah.
they're the people who want to fight for our country. Why would you not want people who want to fight for our country and save the people of America?
Yeah.
Right. Like
Fight for the people
they
of America. Sorry.
like they're willing to do this, and why would you deny them of that?
Yeah.
Like honestly, they're doing you a service, so I
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yep.
but
And
but yeah.
Heidi mentioned earlier about religion. Um, Former president also mentioned about religious discrimination division in healthcare, basically, which was to defend physicians and other medical professionals who decide to refuse care to LGBTQ patients. Honestly, that just sounds outrageous
That
to me.
Yeah.
that's again bonkers to me. Like
Like,
what?
healthcare is a human right. We are all
Yes.
human. Well, your sexual orientation has nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. What else can
Like,
we like?
what
It's
else?
like it isn't like a thing. Like we're not trying to get like political here or anything. It's just we all like it's something that should be offered to everyone, and it shouldn't be limited to those people that can pay for it.
Exactly. Like, this
So
is
that doesn't make sense.
basic human rights. And why
Everyone deserves basic
everyone?
human rights. Everyone,
Exactly.
no matter what
Exactly.
religion, sexual orientation, gender, anything, everyone deserves basic human rights.
To get on a little lighter note about LGBTQ and former government, um, our current president, Joseph R. Biden, is trying to reverse Trump's orders, especially like the recent one, which was the ban on transgenders in the military. And yeah,
Good for him, you know.
really
Yeah.
good for him.
It hasn't even been his 100 days yet and he is doing a lot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
There's some
So,
people, I mean, there's some things that are still getting there. He's still pushing through it, but
I mean, obviously, how long has he been inaugurated? Like less than a month.
Yeah, it's in process. It's in process, but he still has to step up because he did promise a lot of things that
I
he
hasn't
know.
that
did.
like. And
He
yes,
did.
it's like only been such a short time, but
I
It stung
mean,
quickly.
slowly but surely we'll get results, I think.
hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And and here's some other facts. Now moving on to happier news. 29 countries out of the 195 countries of the world legalize same-sex marriage. Here are the 29 countries.
I'll start it off. Argentina, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Costa Rica, Denmark, Ecuador, Finland, France, Germany, Iceland, Ireland.
Continuing, Luxembourg, Malta, Mexico, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, and
And Uruguay.
Oh,
oh
yes.
yes,
Okay, guys, let's talk about Taiwan. All right, let's talk about Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Let's talk about
So, the Taiwan Constitutional Court ruled in 2017 that marriage could not be restricted to opposite sex couples and gave Parliament 2 years to enact legislation legalizing same sex marriage. Parliament passed the legislation to legalize same sex marriage, which went to effect May  24th of 2019, making Taiwan the first country to enact marriage equality in Asia.
Woo.
Okay, I have a few
yes.
problems with this. Okay, not with Taiwan, obviously, but how slow Asia's being. Come on, pick it up.
Pick it up.
Pick it up, sis. Okay, it hasn't even been 2 years since Taiwan enacted this legislation. It hasn't even been
Yeah,
2 years.
Yeah.
get a hint.
Please, Asia, hurry up, hurry it up. Come on.
And now I know we all need some extra loving out in the world. And
The single people,
for the single people, for the single people,
the
No.
for the
single
day
people.
after, for this day after
For
Valentine's.
everyone, everyone deserves love,
Okay,
especially
Okay.
the single people though.
exactly.
So if you're feeling extra lonely, you should probably either listen to these songs or watch these movies. I recommend watching. I'm not watching. Yeah, watching. To All the Boys I Loved Before sequels and movies. Very good. Makes me want to cry every day, but like it's so good. Also, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. So good, so good.
So good. Okay.
Hmm.
I recommend watching True Beauty and listening to the original soundtrack. Also, Han Seo-jun's Supremacy. Okay, he deserved her. And
Period.
let me tell you, it is a very cute little K drama. It's based off a webtoon. It will make you feel lonely. So,
Oh,
But you can absorb the love, okay, through the screen. Okay, it's in
Mhm,
the air. It's in
It's
the
in
air.
the air.
mhm.
It's really good.
I recently, yeah, I started new K drama and finished it. It's called, I think it's like Record of Youth. I think it's on Netflix. Highly recommend. It's a simple K drama if you want to start out watching K dramas. It's a good one. Solid, solid. And now to wrap up this episode, like how we're going to do every single
Oh
episode,
yes. Oh yes. Oh
we're
yes.
talking about
Our
our,
weekly golden moments.
yes.
I will start off. My gov grade was not looking very nice. Was not looking pretty. But I finally turned in all my work, and I have an A
Period.
now. Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
period.
Yes.
Abs to
Yes.
that.
Period. So recently, I got new shoes, and I call them chunkies because they're the feel ones that are very much thick and make you taller. And I'm very much happy about it. They're so white. They're so new. I'm so excited to wear them with an outfit I like.
That's like Instagram baddie type beat, you know. Can't
Yeah,
wait to
the
see it, Jayden.
destroyers. The Fila destroyers. That's what they're
Can't wait to
called.
see it.
Yeah, they're all right. Sorry.
Jaden
You're
just
probably gonna
destroyed
look good in
me.
them, but I feel like I would never wear them. I feel like I would. I'm too short. I don't know.
I'm
I feel like
shorter
you.
than you.
I feel like it'll just look awkward on me. Like I have big. Like,
Same.
it'll just look way too big.
You
Ooh.
think they'll
Yeah.
be? You think they'll be nice on me?
Yeah.
Well, take
We'll
a picture
see.
of an outfit first.
We'll see what happens. And then for my golden moment, yesterday started a drama, K drama. I think it was like 12 episodes, I think, if I remember correctly. And I finished it the same night. So it broke my record. It's a really bad habit.
It's yeah. How many times have you done? You should keep like you. You should record how many times you've done this. You've done this like with Itaewon class. I remember that.
Yeah, I've done it for a lot of K dramas because I like to finish it quickly. Like like I don't like leaving it at the end or like leaving it for a few days. Like I want to finish it, and especially for ones that like aren't like in process, like letting episodes out. I just like to finish it quickly. I
What
want to know what
about
happens. I'm anxious.
what about when you finished all of Harry Potter within?
Oh yeah, I finished Harry Potter within like I don't know, like a few days, like a day or two, 2 days, two
Yeah,
days.
the like all the movies
Mhm.
built different. Shoot,
Thank you. That's
shoot.
my pride and joy.
I'm proud of you too. I'm proud.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, Tigers, to our first part of our series of What is Love. Our next episode is going to be on equality versus equity.